Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back everybody. New subscribers, thank you for subscribing, appreciate it. So I'm back here in the garage today and do another customer video on this Honda van. They took it to Firestone and they basically were told that it needs a motor and they don't do that kind of stuff. So we're going to verify the misfire complaint, verify what the problem is, and see what we can figure out. So let's check it out. Alright, let's see, what do we got here? Oh, unlock. What we got here is a 2013 Honda Odyssey. They said it runs real rough. Let's see. Actually, cold right here. It doesn't feel like it's misfiring. Just at an idle, it actually feels okay. It does have a check engine. Okay, well there's the check engine's blinking now, so it's picking up the misfire. Alright, yeah, I can feel it misfiring. It's not as bad as it was when I pulled it in. Alright, let's go get the scanner. I'm gonna get the scanner, we'll see what codes we've got. Alright, there we go. Plug in the scanner. What do we got? Let's see. Alright. 13 Honda Odyssey 3.5. See what we got for codes. Alright, let's see what we got. Cylinder 3 and ignition coil circuit malfunction. That could be a false code. I'm not going to rule it out, but it could be a false code from the other shop. Maybe they unplugged it while the key was on or something. I'm hoping that that's the problem. If it's just got a bad coil or a circuit fault. But we're going to get into that. I have a feeling that cylinder 3 coil code is probably from somebody unplugging it, trying to diagnose the misfire. We're just going to focus on this cylinder 3 misfire. See if this will give me misfire data. Misfire data. Alright. Start it up. Okay, 0, 0, 0, and then look at it count. Alright, cylinder 3 is like a dead hole, I guess. Alright, let's go pop the hood. Alright, let's get this engine cover out of the way. These quarter turn clips, get those off of there. And then I believe the back is just on a rubber bushing. You just lift it up. Yep. Let's lift that up, get this guy out of the way. Set this over here. Okay. Let's see what we got. There's one, 2, 3. All right, there it is. Okay, it is plugged in. It is plugged in. It's hard to see back there, but there it is there. We got 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, I'm gonna try and sneak my ratchet back here and get that up. Not a lot of room in there. Alright, where is it? There it is. that off of there. Then pull it up a little bit and you can get the clip. Get the electrical. Alright, with the electrical connector off, I'm going to take a look at it. Connector looks okay. I'll pull this coil out of here and take a look. Actually, yeah. Well, they don't leave us much room back here. I'll get that hose pushed out of the way. There it goes. Come on. Ow. Alright, there we go. Coil out. Okay, I'm gonna pull this spark plug out, but they actually, so they had this van at Firestone, and Firestone told them that number 3 had low compression. So we're gonna verify that. Find the hole. He said this never had a valve adjustment. It's never been a part. I've had several of these Honda vans where the valves were tight, causing a misfire. So if it is low compression, that's going to be the next thing. Is we're gonna go in and do a make sure the valve adjustment is okay. If it's not, we're gonna correct it. This thing has, I want to say it has like 200,000 miles on it. I didn't look. Guess I didn't unscrew it all the way. Come on now. Alright. Longest spark plug removal. This looks like she's burning some oil. Looks like it's burning some oil. Spark plug's broken. Look at the, I don't know if we can see down there or not. See if I can get this thing to focus. The porcelain's busted down there. That might be a bad. Let's see. See if we can focus here. The porcelain down there is busted. That might not be a good thing. There you go, you can see. Come on. There it is. You can see that piece there is broken. Let me get the compression gauge. Alright. Starter button hooked up. Compression gauge in. I know I'm not holding the throttle plate open or nothing, but let's see what we got. Really? That's number 3, yeah, did I miss one? I'm not on number 2, am I? I better double check. Let's see, there's one coil there. There's one coil, yeah, okay. 200. I'm not gonna do that again. They told the guy it was 90. I don't know what that noise was. All right, clear this off. Try it again. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, so you can clearly see just on the first attempt to make compression, I don't have all the spark plugs out. I don't even have the throttle plate open. None of that. I just pulled the one spark plug. They said it had 90 psi. I plugged my compression gauge in, and that's what we got, 200 psi. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go get a good spark plug. I'm going to put a good spark plug in that hole because I know that spark plug's damaged. So there's a good chance that it probably just needs a tune up in one coil. So I'm going to go get one spark plug, come back, put one brand new spark plug in that hole, and I'm going to put a coil from a different cylinder in that hole and see if our misfire moves. There's no sense in putting that spark plug in any other cylinder because it's no good. There's no sense in putting that spark plug back in anywhere. I'm going to put this spark plug in, put a known good coil in that cylinder and see what happens. Alright, I just got the spark plug back in. This is the coil that was in number 3. I switched that one with number 6. I don't want to put the new one in unless I have to. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Turn the key on. You know what? Before we do that, I'm going to show you guys this right here. Customer took this to Firestone. I don't want to give away any of their info or anything. Misfire, let's see what they say. Cylinder 3 has low compression. Spec 140 psi. We just seen it's 200. So what did they do here? Okay. Alright, let's see, what did they write down in here? PO303, cylinder 3 misfire. Moved coil and plug. Misfire stayed on number 3. Low compression, they say. So you guys just saw it. I just measured it at 200 with all the other spark plugs in it. And without opening the throttle plate like you're supposed to, I measured 200 on probably 3 or 4 hits. Usually I let them go 5 or 6 hits. This one's right up there. Boom. What I did find was a bad spark plug. Took the spark plug out and right away I seen broken porcelain on the bottom of the spark plug. That spark plug's been firing wrong. It probably made the coil fail, and it wasn't firing right, so the spark plug, I'm going to guess, was causing a misfire. There is no way that these guys took that spark plug out of that hole and put it back together that way. There's no way. The starter sounds funny. Look, it's running smooth. You seen it earlier, the check engine light started flashing. Those mother effers. Alright, now I'm going to shut this off. Turn the key back on. Come down here to the old scan tool and clear the codes. Because remember, it had that coil code in it. That could have been from them unplugging and plugging it back in. That coil may be faulty. So I'm going to clear the codes, start it back up, and see if it counts misfires and see if it counts any codes. But I already tell you right now, it's running 100% better. Alright, where am I? Data, duh. A brain fart. Saw something out of the corner of my eye, got distracted. Alright. Start it up. And I'm going to go down here and see our misfires. We could see it counting on number 3 when I started earlier. You guys can see the coolant temperature. This thing, all the runtime it's had on it all morning has been on video, which has been very little. Like, we're not counting a single misfire. See, misfires, none. Mother All right. All right, I just talked to the customer. We're gonna put all brand new spark plugs in it. We're gonna put the factory NGK iridiums. We're gonna go ahead and pull the valve covers and inspect the valve adjustment. Maintenance wise, it's 200,000 miles on it. After putting the spark plug in it, it seems to run real good. So we're gonna go ahead and do the valve adjustment, new valve cover gaskets, and a set of plugs, and then we'll go cruise it around and make sure it runs right. All right, here we are with the valve covers off. Got everything out of the way. So what we're checking, you can see this nut with a screw here. We got to take feeler gauge and get underneath every one of these like that. That one's a little loose. This is, what is that, 10 thousandths? No, that's 12. So the spec on the intake here is 10 and 12 on the exhaust. That's a 10. This is a 12. So they're loose. That's probably going to be a 14-ish, so I need to tighten them. Basic concept here. You adjust the screw to the right clearance and then tighten the nut. I just goofed myself up because I got sidetracked a minute ago. Forgot I loosened it. So my clearance is pretty good. Now I want to hold this, snug up the nut, gonna check. That's still a little bit on the loose side. So then I'll go in here like this, crack the nut loose just a little bit, and then let it screw tighten just a hair, and then I'll hold the screw and snug up the nut. That's too tight. Wait. Yeah, that's a little too tight. It's a very fine line. That one's just about same as the other one. Yep, just pretty much the same. All right, double check that they're tight. You do not want these loose. Have to go back here and do this again. All right, snug these up tight, tight. Double check. 10 thousandths. That one's good. It's one of those things too, you gotta hold the feeler gauge just right. That one might be, honestly, 10. Yeah, maybe it's might be a half a thousandths, 10 and a half. Anyways, that's what we're looking for, every single one. Okay, I've gone through every single valve. Every single valve was loose, which is backwards from what I normally experience on these Honda V6s. This is the first time doing one this new. Honda says to adjust them if they're loud, noisy. They were all out of spec. Every single one of them was at least 1 to 2 thousandths over the high end of the tolerance. So I put them all right back to the middle of the spec. One valve, this exhaust valve down here, was the only one that was in spec. It's the only one I didn't touch. Every single other one was super loose. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't noisy. Maybe it was and I just didn't notice it. But anyway, I'm gonna get this thing put back together. Okay, she's all back together. Let's make sure it runs right. Start right up, run smooth. Run smooth. No engine lights, no nothing. Yeah, smooth, smooth. Alright, so that pretty much wraps this one up. So they kind of lied without lying. They told him it had low compression. It might be because of the valve adjustment, yada yada. Ultimately, he got exactly what he would have got had he continued at Firestone and had them do the valve adjustment. I tell you what I think would have happened. If he would have okayed that $600 and some for them to go try the valve adjustment, I guarantee you the guy would have thrown a spark plug in there, said, "Oh yay, valve job fixed it, valve adjustment fixed it, it's brand new, you're all good." And the guy would have ended up paying he probably would have paid for not getting a valve job. They probably would have just put a spark plug in it and sent it on its way. So I think the technician knows these vans and has had to do valve adjustments on them before, and just kind of rolled the dice thinking, here's a regular customer that we can just they'll pay for it. But not the case. We did the same work, but I made it run with one spark plug, made it run right with one spark plug. I called him, I told him what I found. I told him that ultimately you need spark plugs. I always recommend the OE spark plug. And I told him, you know, if we put spark plugs in it, it'll run fine, you can drive it. The valve adjustment was merely a maintenance thing at that point. It does have a little over 200,000 on it. Honda says to do it at the service intervals if they're noisy. What I did find was they were all anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 thousandths on the big end. So they were about 5 to 6. They were anywhere from 2 to 5 thousandths on the loose side. So I did adjust them and tighten them all up. So it's running great right now. I'm going to take it out, drive it, and make sure everything's good, and we'll call that one a wrap. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.